Greetings Earthlings, today we will be discussing how brain systems change over time under repeated stress. In a cool way. In this video we will be overviewing a case study of a student experiencing immense stress that accumulated due to school-related troubles. After analyzing this case study, I will be sharing tips to combat immense stress. Introduction. Meet brother Jaden, a grade 10 student of Harpers High School. Jaden is a motivated student who takes school seriously and wants to do well academically. Most mornings start early because of a long commute, and after school Jaden often helps care for a younger sibling before settling into homework. As the year progresses, academic expectations increase, and late nights become more common, especially during exam periods. Jaden participates actively in class discussions and demonstrates strong verbal reasoning, but sustained pressure and limited recovery time begin to affect focus, memory, and energy levels over time. Below is a chart of Jaden's stress exposure over time. Conceptualization. Based on the intro we can conclude 3 key points about Jaden. 1. He is a hard-working student demonstrating high levels of thinking, verbal reasoning, and comprehension which exerts energy. 2. He has a long commute which prevents him from getting the proper recovery needed, which impairs his focus, memory, and energy levels. 3. Due to the rise of academic expectations throughout the year he finds it hard to keep up, constantly staying up to finish homework. This phenomenon, most prominent during exam periods. Jaden's statistics show his rise of stress levels over the course of many months. For instance, during September he kept stable routines, which resulted in low moderate stress levels. Following the very beginning of November came increased workloads. This resulted in moderate stress levels. Once January came around, he started to have exam and sleep disruptions due to his high stress levels at that time. And finally when March came around, the effects of sustained academic pressure finally caught up, and Jaden developed a high level of stress which led to chronic stress and fatigue. Explanation. Research part. Given all this information, you may be wondering, what are the scientific implications behind his rise in stress, and how were his brain systems changed over time under repeated stress? Firstly, we need to understand what stress is, how and where is it developed, the brain systems it may affect, the long-term effects of repeated stress on these systems, how this applies to a school setting, or Jaden's predicament. Last but not least, the best course of action. Stress is the body's natural response to both internal and external stressors. There are 3 types of stress. Short-term, best known as acute; frequent stress, best known as episodic; and finally long-term stress, best known as chronic stress. Stress can be formed in many different circumstances. For instance, it can form in stressful situations, pun intended, overwhelming environments, chaotic environments, maybe even school or work, or even at home. For some background, when a person experiences stress, the amygdala sends a signal to the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus sends a signal to your autonomic nervous system, which interacts with your adrenal glands, sending out waves of hormones called cortisol, in which, ultimately, triggers your fight or flight response. With that out the way, it is important to know all of the specific brain systems affected by stress. As cliche as it may seem, stress affects just about every brain system in its own way. For instance, a real-life example of stress impairment on the amygdala would be increased levels of fear and anxiety. For the PFC, aka the prefrontal cortex, it can result in damages in vital functions like decision-making, communication, and it could even pose harm to a brain's neuroplasticity. And as for the hippocampus, it causes memory and learning impairments, shrinking and spike in cortisol levels which could affect students like Jaden. As we know, Jaden is a scholar, a dedicated one, but right now he is experiencing burnout. So I've taken it upon myself to compile a list of ways he can reduce his stress and obtain the rest he deserves. Talk about it. It's very hard to tackle life's struggles alone. So it always helps when you speak out about your situation. You never know if someone is going through the same thing as you. Who knows? They might even have tips for you to better yourself. Construct a foolproof schedule. Make a schedule that allows you to get all of your work done, your daily task done, and one that still leaves room for relaxing and catching up on that missing sleep. Take breaks. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, you can always take a break. This prevents burnout. Take extensions. You can always ask your teacher for an extension to an assignment, especially if they understand your situation and want you to succeed.
Meanwhile,
I gotta get out of here!
Fatality.